Yeah, what would you say to someone that is that doesn't feel? Like I can't feel.
Mm.
What do you talk about my direct felt experience? What do you mean? Perhaps I'm in my head analyzing it. So how do I get from there into my body, would you say?
Yeah, I've had people say that, "I can't feel anything." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Do you mean you feel numb?" And they're like, "Yeah, numb." I'm like, "That's a feeling." There's always something there, but we're really taught to dismiss everything. The committee inside. Yes, we've got a lot of committees inside. That's we have an assessment if anyone wants it. It's called the saboteur assessment. It's an amazing, remarkable thing that I learned about my committees. So, oh, Naomi, I remember having this gut feeling or wish over and over. There's got to be something more than this. Yeah, even though I couldn't really understand or connect with other feelings. Yeah. Oh, and accept being unhappy. That's the other piece of it, right? Acceptance. We're always busy trying to positive think our way out of what we're doing or affirm something, and we don't accept what is, as Eckhart Tolle wrote in his book, The Power of Now, presence with myself, but also others in the moment. We're often busy fixing.
So so you're saying like for those that can't feel or say I can't feel anything, you're saying is it for me to be present?
Yeah, thanks for clarifying. And I like what Krista said too. Men specifically are conditioned not to feel and ignore their bodies. They're strong, they push through, they do all the hard grunt work. And I don't think men feel safe really expressing to their partners either, because there's this thing of, well, if you're a man, you don't cry. It's still a thing, isn't
Mm,
it? Hey,
it
have you?
is absolutely. I've heard that many times, working with men that they don't feel safe. Either that safety is projected onto themselves of it's actually unsafe for me because the expectation is that I have my stuff together, that I'm
Right,
strong, that I'm the provider and protector of the family, that I should have everything all together. Or their partner projects that they don't want to be their therapist, their mom,
right. Well,
or um, may not have the capacity to hold it in a safe way so that the man, and this goes both ways, the man feels unsafe because perhaps it's weaponized. Perhaps there's some shame there. There's some embarrassment. There's judgment there. And so then I'm like, oh, I'll suck it back in again. It's not safe.
man
Right.
up, man up. Right? Is that a saying?
Yeah.
Man up, man. Just suck it up. Like, yeah, and then that's what people do. More men commit suicide than anyone else. And Chris, heart attacks, right? Where we go to work, we keep providing. And the number one days for heart attacks is Monday. Why is that? We don't feel how exhausting it is, how numbing, how meaningless sometimes it is. What's Chris saying there now?
Yes. Lots of
Lots of
women
women.
say they want an emotionally available man until we
Uh,
express a full range of emotions.
until you
Yeah,
actually.
there's some contradictions there, isn't there? And yeah, I mean, there's also the idea that, there's some men that want a strong, independent woman that has her stuff together too, and then they may feel emasculated, right? So there's all these different perspectives, but talking about this one particular thing too is this is for both men and women and anybody is like when I do express myself, there's a way where I'm expressing myself where it may be full of judgment, blame, shame, because I don't know how. The most likely unabridged form of expression is something that creates collateral damage because I've been trained to speak in terms of judgments to in terms of what I don't like, and so that can cause what we call the saboteurs to come out and fight each other, right? So it's ability to have conscious communication skills. And for me to have the conscious communication skills, I also know got to be aware of my self-regulation as well. So thinking from the end in mind, what I yearn to be in is in a partnership where Summer can hold space for my expression, my fullest expression. I feel safe to. Though at the same time, I'm not just being so freely with it, right? not being conscious of it, I'm also conscious of my language as well and of my regulation because the whole time we're co-regulating each other. She might have more capacity to hold space for me to co-regulate me and keep me regulated down by her presence, though I can speak in a way that owns my projections, owns my judgments. I can minimize the use of the word you, right? To perhaps invoke blame. So there's a lot of nuances there. Though I can take the best foot forward to create a safer space than just like I just want my woman to hold me for whatever I have. And it goes the inverse as well. I just want a man to hold me where I just project all everything.
Yeah,
Right.
actually, what's that show? Someone shared that with, oh, it was a Facebook post about that. There's that really popular show where the woman just is so traumatized and she's out there. Oh, I got to look that up. Um, and there's this real Hollywood ideal of this man that just holds a very emotional woman, traumatized woman, and it's very, I would say, lopsided in a lot of ways. And um, what did Chris say? The saboteurs come up and they fight each other. Yes, the ability to simply powerful hold space is probably one of the least used and understood power. Yeah, that's where Dre and I talk about partnerships being healing conduits to each other, really understanding. And I was going to ask you, Dre, I feel like I'm on a little tour here, but you mentioned emotions and regulating yourself, but also having that container within a couple to navigate them. But I remember in class, actually, last night, we talked about how emotions can run amok. You express them, and then what? Like, uh, that's great. This is where drama comes in. People just are expressing their emotions. What's the difference between the volatility and the drama of emotions and the resolution of them or the insight that comes with them?
Absolutely. Well, it starts with self-regulation.
How do you do
Because
that? Like, what does
if
that
I'm
mean?
in yeah, it means like my nervous system is shot, meaning I'm in fight or flight. I'm in victim mode. I'm in saboteur mode. I don't feel safe. Who I view as an enemy, whoever's involved in my story is the enemy, and I just want to be heard and I want to be right. My goal is I want to be on top. I want to get my way. It's survival, right? So when I'm in survival, it's really hard for me to think rationally, and this is where the rational power comes in. Rational minds is a beautiful gift to have. And when I'm thinking that way, I'm thinking of like what's in it for me, right? And these are called saboteur strategies where I might get a need met to control something to get my way, to ease my anxiety, but it comes with a cost where people that are affected are resentful of that control because they feel robbed of their sovereignty. They don't have a choice, right? So self-regulation is just a term to calm my system down, to let me know that I'm safe, that I'm okay, right? Because in those times where I was a child, I would feel unsafe, and by default, I'll come up with a strategy as a child to navigate my parents, my caretakers, or my teachers, or my bosses, and I will play out those same strategies in adult relationships if I'm not conscious of it. I do play them out 100%. So the idea is like, oh, catching that I am in that survival mode and breathing. Breath work is my quickest way to calm my nervous system down.
If
Meditation.
you're in a panic attack, like, because people say that, right?
Yeah.
They're breathing.
Yeah. Yeah. Panic attack is call someone. Like call someone that you feel safe with and they can co-regulate you. They be that safe space just to calm things down as a reflection point, right?
And
Um,
I want to pop in there because so many people try to control their anxiety or they have anxiety medication. The best way to soothe anxiety is to be with someone who can regulate you just through their presence. We need more connection, and it's a natural human experience to be with someone. And people always think they need to fix it or do something, but no, your presence is enough.
Yeah,
So I
and
love
there's a particular type of presence with that. The quality of presence
Mhm.
is the presence to be
Is
with, to not judge, to not fix, to not give advice, to not diagnose either, because I could be present and I just want to fix you because I love you. I
yeah.
want to solve your problem,
Yeah, I wanna fix you 'cause
right? So that comes with labeling. Now in my mind, trying to analyze you and understand you, and the moment that someone has a plan to do something with me, I feel suspicious
Mhm,
because there's a motive to get
mhm.
me somewhere.
Yep.
Right? It's trying to fix me, man. And people can feel that. I don't
They
feel heard. I don't feel listened to. Right. And then I still I become further entrenched in my story that my needs don't matter, that nobody hears me. And I speak louder and louder and louder until someone hears me.
but then they
That's
don't
what
really,
happens.
because then they call you
Right?
crazy. I
It
love what
has the
Chris just
opposite
said
effect.
too. Yeah, Chris, the most profound healing I've experienced is when someone has fully, completely, and totally heard me. I can only thrash and wail and scream for so long just to empty into the stillness of another human being. And this is where we're so busy, we can't be still enough to be with someone and offer that. And I thank you so much for that description, Chris, because I truly believe that's where healing of all kinds, the physical, the emotional, and the mental reside. It's so much simpler than we've been told it is. We don't need to go to 20 years of therapy. We can sit in stillness and allow the body, which is innately intelligent, to find its way through, especially when there are others who have come to learn how to regulate themselves, how to sense what doesn't work for them, what their inner resonant yes is in the way that their body operates, in the way that their nervous system operates, and to truly connect with another human being and help support them to find out what that is the most rewarding, meaningful, fulfilling experience, which then allows us then to create authentic community. There's all these people who want to go out and live in community and have, grow their own gardens and things like that. And they're putting the doing of those things ahead of the being. The how do we actually live with each other? Until we do that, it's going to look messy. And I bet you anyone who's tried having a community or lived in a community, they've seen the mess. It gets really messy when we have all these judgments and we're unconscious and we don't know how to regulate ourselves. That's the messiness of the human condition. Until we learn to do what Chris just said, to be comfortable in the stillness and also being the witness and switching those roles back and forth. So there's not an expert, there's not a psychologist, the expert that's doing the space for you. It works back and forth so that we can truly experience our humanness together. Isn't that what we all want? Is to truly feel heard and that someone is with us on this journey, with us. I really think it's the separation that is our disease, that is the source of it all.